There was a time when the phrase "made in China" conjured images of cheap toys, mass-produced clothes, and low-cost electronics, the world's workshop, churning out goods for every corner of the globe. These products filled store shelves everywhere, often valued more for their affordability than their quality. For decades, this relentless manufacturing engine powered China's meteoric rise, transforming its cities and lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty. The country's economic miracle was built on the backs of factory workers and the endless hum of assembly lines, fueling growth at a scale the world had never seen before. But today, that story is rapidly changing. The world is witnessing a new chapter in China's evolution. Now China is producing advanced smartphones, electric vehicles that can rival Tesla, and drones that dominate the skies of the global market. These are high-tech products, not just simple goods. These innovations are not merely assembled, they're born from deep research, bold experimentation, and a drive to push boundaries. China's scientists and engineers are at the forefront, turning ideas into reality. China is no longer content to be the world's factory. It's setting its sights on becoming the world's laboratory and a global technology leader, nurturing talent and investing in the future. This transformation is about more than just economics. It's about ambition, vision, and a determination to move from imitation to true innovation. It's a cultural shift, redefining what made in China means. The shift was no accident. China's leaders recognized the limits of low-cost manufacturing and made a bold strategic pivot, investing heavily in education, research, and technology. To keep rising, China needed to climb the value chain, mastering and owning the technologies that will shape the 21st century, from artificial intelligence to green energy and beyond. This shift is already reshaping the global economy, influencing international politics, and redefining the future of technology for everyone. How did China make this leap, moving from low-cost manufacturing to leading the world in AI, robotics, and green energy solutions? In this video, we'll dive deep into the policies, the pioneering companies, and the challenges that have shaped China's technological revolution, and the hurdles it still faces. Join us as we explore how the dragon is evolving, and discover what this transformation means for the future of China, and for the world. To truly understand China's future and where it's headed, we must first look back at its remarkable past and the journey it has taken. In the late 1970s, China was a nation marked by poverty and isolation from the rest of the world, with much of its population living in rural areas and struggling to get by. Everything began to change when Deng Xiaoping introduced his groundbreaking reform and opening up policy, which welcomed foreign investment and market principles, setting the stage for a new era. With a massive, low-cost workforce eager for opportunity, China quickly became the world's go-to destination for affordable manufacturing, attracting companies from across the globe. Cities like Shenzhen, once humble fishing villages, were transformed almost overnight into sprawling factory metropolises, symbols of China's rapid industrialization. China soon became the final and most crucial link in the global supply chain, assembling everything from Nike sneakers to iPhones and exporting them to every corner of the world. This world's factory model didn't just boost exports, it lifted hundreds of millions out of poverty, creating a brand new and rapidly growing middle class with rising aspirations. For nearly 3 decades, China's economy surged ahead, growing at an astonishing rate of almost 10% per year, reshaping the global economic landscape. Massive investments in new roads, ports, and railways supported this export machine, connecting factories to the world and fueling even more growth. The world benefited too. Cheap Chinese goods kept prices low, and inflation in check in Western countries, making everyday products more affordable for millions. But China's role was mostly limited to assembly. Foreign companies still provided the advanced technology, designs, and global brands. The most valuable parts of the process, research, development, and marketing, were still happening elsewhere, far from Chinese factories. China was a crucial partner in the global economy, but it wasn't yet the inventor or the innovator. It built the world's products, powering global commerce, but didn't create or design them. This reality soon became a growing concern for China's leaders, who saw the limitations of being just the world's factory. They knew that for China to truly thrive and lead, change was not just desirable, it was absolutely necessary. The world's factory model, which had powered China's rise for decades, began to show cracks beneath the surface. As China's economy expanded and living standards improved, wages steadily rose. Labor was no longer as cheap or abundant as it once was, making it harder for factories to compete on cost alone. In response, many companies seeking the lowest costs started shifting their operations to countries like Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Mexico, where labor remained inexpensive and regulations were lighter. Meanwhile, the environmental costs of rapid industrialization mounted. Thick, smog-blanketed cities, rivers ran black with pollution, and public health crises became more frequent, sparking concern among citizens and officials alike. The government soon realized that relentless growth at any cost was unsustainable, threatening both the environment and social stability. Another challenge emerged. China's manufacturing sector depended heavily on foreign technology for critical components, microchips, advanced engines, and specialized machinery. This reliance became a strategic vulnerability, especially as global tensions and trade disputes with countries like the US intensified, raising fears of supply chain disruptions. China risked being cut off from the advanced technology it desperately needed to keep its factories running and its economy growing. There was also the looming threat of the middle income trap, the danger of getting stuck between low-cost manufacturing and high-tech innovation, unable to move up the economic ladder. Wages had become too high to compete with poorer countries, but China's technology and productivity still lagged behind the world's richest economies. China's leaders were determined to avoid this fate and chart a new course for the nation's future. To secure lasting prosperity, China had to move up the value chain, shifting from basic assembly to advanced manufacturing and innovation. It needed to become a place where new ideas were born, not just where products were put together. The old model had reached its limits and the risks of standing still were growing clearer by the day. A new path was urgently needed, one that would ensure China's continued growth and global relevance. The next step was clear. China had to become a creator, not just a builder, and foster a culture of innovation. The stage was set for a dramatic transformation as China prepared to reinvent itself for the future. China's leaders responded with a bold plan, Made in China 2025. This blueprint aimed to shift China from low-value manufacturing to high-tech leadership. 10 key sectors were targeted: AI, robotics, electric vehicles, aerospace, and more. The government poured money into these industries, offering subsidies and research grants. Universities, research institutes, and private companies were encouraged to collaborate. The goal: reduce reliance on foreign technology and build a self-sufficient supply chain. Made in China 2025 signaled China's ambition to become a tech superpower. The West saw this as a direct challenge, sparking concern and controversy. But inside China, the plan mobilized resources and focused the nation on technological independence. The race for innovation was on. Made in China 2025 transformed China's landscape. Old factory towns evolved into vibrant tech clusters. The Greater Bay Area, including Shenzhen, became a global hardware powerhouse, home to Huawei, Tencent, and thousands of startups. Fast, flexible supply chains let entrepreneurs turn ideas into products in days. The Yangtze River Delta, centered on Shanghai, led in electric vehicles, advanced materials, and biopharma. Beijing emerged as the AI capital, with top universities and tech giants like Baidu. These clusters brought together talent, capital, and research, fueling rapid innovation. China wasn't just building new industries, it was upgrading old ones with advanced tech. These city clusters became the engines of China's tech-driven economy. China's tech transformation is embodied by its corporate giants. Huawei grew from telephone switches to a global leader in 5G and smartphones, investing heavily in R&D to reduce foreign dependence. BYD, once a battery maker, became the world's top electric vehicle seller, outpacing Tesla with its vertically integrated supply chain. DJI dominates the global drone market, while Alibaba and Tencent revolutionized e-commerce and digital payments. Their platforms, Alipay and WeChat Pay, made China a leader in mobile payments. These companies turned government strategy into commercial reality. They're not just manufacturers, they're innovators, setting global trends. Despite Western sanctions and competition, they've shown resilience and adaptability. China's tech titans are proof of its shift from factory to innovator. Their rise signals a new era of global competition. The world is taking notice. China's tech rise faces major obstacles, especially from the United States. As Chinese firms grew, they were seen as security threats, sparking a tech war, the fiercest battle semiconductors. China consumes the most chips but relies on foreign suppliers. The US imposed export controls, cutting off China from advanced chips and equipment. In response, China launched a massive push for self-reliance, investing billions in domestic chip-making. The goal, a supply chain immune to foreign sanctions. China is also developing its own operating systems and satellite navigation to replace Western tech. This great wall of technology could split the world into rival tech spheres. The risks stifled innovation and rising global tensions. For China, self-sufficiency is now a top priority. The tech rivalry is reshaping the global landscape. While the world focused on AI and chips, China quietly became a green tech giant. Severe pollution pushed leaders to invest in renewables and clean tech. Today, China produces over 80% of the world's solar panels, driving down global costs. Chinese firms control the entire solar supply chain, making the world's energy transition dependent on China. In wind power, China leads in manufacturing and installed capacity. It's also the top producer of batteries for electric vehicles and energy storage, with companies like CATL and BYD supplying global automakers. China's green tech dominance is both an opportunity and a concern for the world. Western countries now scramble to build their own green industries, but catching up won't be easy. As the world decarbonizes, China's role is central. The path to a green future runs through China. China's journey from factory to tech titan is one of ambition and relentless execution. Made in China now means innovation and global competitiveness. But the transformation isn't complete. Challenges remain, from semiconductor self-sufficiency to an aging population. The tech rivalry with the US will shape the coming decades, affecting trade, alliances, and security. China's state-led model creates both opportunities and friction with the West. For the world, China's innovation brings benefits and risks. Navigating this new reality requires careful diplomacy and understanding. For China, technological leadership is about securing its future and global influence. The next chapter is just beginning. The world is watching to see if China can lead, not just as a factory, but as an inventor.